Hello everybody and welcome back to your fourth week of Hatha Yoga. All right, we are finishing up this last series before we move on to Yin Yoga. So this week, very similar to what we did as far as our flow as last week, and just getting you guys prepared for our last style. So lots of holds, lots of breathing, not as much of flowy as we did with Ashtanga as well as our vinyasa. So to get started, come join me at your mats. We're going to start in child's pose. So having a seat, sitting on your heels, we're going to go ahead and extend those arms out in front of you and go ahead and drop that forehead down. Beginning with resting our forehead onto the mat. So as you settle in, I want you to think about reaching forward with the arms as far as you can, dropping that head and neck, letting it relax. So as I'm here, I'm breathing. My arms are reaching forward. They feel like they're extending. I'm feeling that's through the sides of my upper body, kind of where my lats are. As I continue to take those deep breaths. Nicely inhale long, exhale us out. And as I'm here in child's pose, I'm thinking about pushing my hips down towards my heels while reaching forward with my arms. That way my spine is elongating in opposite directions. And as I'm here, I'm just thinking about what's bringing up with my body today, what's showing up for me. Just honoring that, knowing that there might be some sensations that I want to focus on, maybe hang out there for a little bit longer. It all depends on today's flow. Also, as I'm breathing here, I'm focusing on each inhalation, expanding those lungs with oxygen. A nice deep breath, exhale out. As I center my mind, continuing to breathe, also taking a moment to set my intention for today's class. Good, continuing to breathe. Nice deep inhale, long exhales out. Reaching forward with those arms. Good, a few more breaths here. Slowly start bringing your hands inward so you can help your upper body up and come into tabletop position. We're going to come into our cat-cows. So as we extend, making sure that our feet are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart, shoulders and wrists stacked, hips and knees stacked. We're going to inhale, we're going to extend the back, look up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're tucking the chin and rounding the spine. Inhale as you extend and look up. And exhale as you tuck the chin and round. Inhale as you extend and look up. And exhale, tucking the chin, rounding the spine. Again, moving with your breath. Nice deep inhale and extending. And as you exhale, tucking the chin and round. So it doesn't have to be my speed at all. It's at the speed of your breath and what feels good for your body. As you're extending, maybe it's hanging out here for a second feels good for you. Or even when you're tucking and rounding, holding it here, maybe some sway side to side. Again, just feeling what's showing up for your body today. Maybe addressing some tender areas. A couple more breaths here as you're moving with your breath. Inhale as we extend and look up, and And as you exhale, tucking the chin and rounding. Wonderful. Coming into that neutral position. Coming into our downward dog. So we're tucking the toes, shooting the hips nice and high, walking a few steps forward if you need to. And then we're going to walk the dog by bending one leg, keeping the other leg straight, and kind of going back and forth. And as you're here, just kind of stretching it out, see what feels good for you. Pressing that head through, shaking your head yes, maybe no. Maybe bending both knees and straightening them at the same time, or bending one at a time. Whatever feels good for you. Just creating a little bit of heat movement. Finding that stillness, we're going to come up to those toes, and you're going to take one step at a time to where your feet can meet your hands at the tops of your mats. Toes and heels together into forward fold. Let the upper body just hang heavy. So as we're here in our forward fold, we're totally letting go. No tension in the head and neck. Arms are just dangling. Just letting gravity pull the upper body down. Feeling a good deep stretch through the hamstrings, glutes, and back. If that's aggressive, remember you can always slightly bend the knees to help relieve some of that tension. From here, if you want to grab hold of opposite elbows into ragdoll, you can do a little sway side to side if that feels good for you. Just continuing to let the upper body hang heavy. Let that neck relax. Keeping the eyes open to help with balance. Possibly staring at a distance at something to help center the mind. Good. Go ahead and release. We're going to come up into halfway lift. So coming up, pulling the shoulder blades away from the ears, flat back, creating that L shape with the body, gazing about 45-degree angle. To exhale, we round. Good. Into forward fold. A few more times like that. We're going to inhale, come up into halfway lift, pulling the shoulder blades away, and you're kind of pushing the hips behind you. And as you exhale, you round, coming back into forward fold. Inhale, we're going to come up, halfway lift, hold there, pulling the shoulder blades away from the ears. And as we exhale, we round back into forward fold. 2 more times like that. Inhale, halfway lift, pulling the shoulder blades away from the ears, flat back, tummy in. And as you exhale, you round. Inhale, halfway lift. 1 more. And as you exhale, you round. And then nice and slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, take it gently all the way up to a stand to where your head is the last thing to come up. Very good. All right, join me at the tops of your mats. We're coming into that mountain pose. So as we come into mountain pose, grabbing down with all 10 toes, bracing with that chest. Your palms are facing the same way as your heart. Fingertips are spread apart. Nice tall posture. Couple breaths here. As you deep in through the nose or mouth and out the mouth. Focusing on that deep breathing. We're going to move on to our side bends with that back bend. So same thing as last time. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up, interlace the fingers, and just point with the index finger and cross the thumb. And as you exhale, we're going to start by moving towards the right. So you're going to push the hips towards the left as you lean towards the right. Keeping that chest lifted, trying to keep the biceps close to the ears as best as you can. As you're gazing forward, again, you're pushing the hips towards the left as you're leaning towards the right. Taking nice deep breaths here as you keep that focus. Gazing forward, staring at something that isn't moving. And as you continue to lean towards the right, with each exhale, getting a little deeper. Hanging on to your arms overhead as we're here and breathing. Good, inhale back up. And as you exhale, we're switching sides. Now we're pushing our hips towards the right as we're leaning towards the left. Arms are locked out straight, keeping them strong as you're pushing the hips towards the right, leaning towards the left. Nice deep breath. Racing with the core, keeping those biceps to ears as best as you can, trying to keep the arms straight as well. Little bends of the elbows if need to, but try to avoid breaking and just kind of keeping them straight as best as you can. Couple more breaths here as you're leaning towards the left, pushing the hips towards the right. Inhale back to the center. All right, we're gonna drop our head and neck, let it hang heavy. Looking back, take a breath, and as you exhale, push the hips forward as you send the head back, reaching back with the arms as you're here and breathing. Again, squeezing the hips forward, glutes as they hold your back stable. And as you're leaning back, we're looking back. Deep breaths. And then on your inhale, slowly come up, release the hands, and come back into forward fold. Very good. Taking a breath here, letting the back release and relax for a second. Good, and gently, nice and slowly, make your way back up to a stand. Second set with that, we're going to do that one more time. Arms by the side, inhale, bring them up. Interlace with the index finger pointed and crossing with the thumbs. Taking a breath, and as we exhale, we're pushing our hips towards the left as we're leaning towards the right. Chest is up and lifted as you're breathing here. Nice deep breaths, keeping that focus, staring at something that isn't moving, straight ahead. Keeps that chest up, biceps to ears as best as you can. Again, we're pushing the hips towards the left as we're leaning towards the right. Feeling that nice deep side stretch through the obliques here. Couple more breaths as you keep leaning. Pushing the hips towards the left as you lean towards the right. Gripping down with your toes. Inhale back up to center. Take a breath, and as you exhale, switching sides, pushing our hips towards the right as we lean towards the left. Straightening out those arms as you're here and breathing. Bracing with the abs, gazing forward. Biceps to ears as best as you can. Pushing the hips towards the right as you're leaning towards the left. Couple more breaths. See if you can get a little deeper. And then inhale back up to center. Dropping that head and neck, let it hang heavy. Take a breath, and as you push and squeeze the hips forward, you're sending your upper body back. Looking back as you squeeze those glutes, protecting the low back. Going back as you breathe. Couple more breaths. Good, and inhale back up and come down into forward fold. Release. Take a breath here. Well done. It's all about attempting and doing the best that you can, and these back bends can be a little scary at times, so just trust your body and only go as far as you feel comfortable. All right, we're staying here. We're bending the knees so we can take our hands and step on our hands. So the back of our hands are on the mats, palms are facing up. You start with knees bent a lot because we're trying to bring the body close to the lower body as best as possible. So get everything nice and close. And then here, the goal is to straighten out the legs. So you're breathing. As you're taking those deep breaths, you're thinking about straightening out the legs as best as possible. Nice deep breaths. Good. Continuing to pull the upper body down. Got a few more breaths. Allowing yourself to lengthen the muscles and get a little deeper into that stretch. Good, and then gently go ahead and bring your hands out of that. Bending the knees, keeping the legs straight, swing the arms down and back, and then up to chair pose. Coming into chair, we're squeezing the knees and ankles and toes together, sitting down in that imaginary chair. As you're hanging out here, the goal is to keep those arms lifted, also nice and neutral with your spine. Gazing forward as you're here and breathing. Working through the quads and hamstrings. Legs are doing a lot of work here, even though you're just standing, you're sitting, you're staying in this position. As you breathe, nice deep breaths, centers the mind, keeps you present as you're here and breathe. Good, bring those hands to heart center. We're gonna add that spinal twist, starting with that right elbow. Take a breath, and as you exhale, getting low. Taking that right elbow right on top of the left knee as you're twisting and looking over that left shoulder. As you're here and breathe, twisting, looking over that left shoulder. Nice deep breaths. Working through those legs. Goal is to keep that mind calm as you're holding here and breathing. Resting with the palms, looking behind that left shoulder as best as you can. And breathe. Inhale, bring the self back up to center. And as you exhale, switching sides, left elbow to right knee. Keeping the knees bent, keeps the hips down. Twisting, looking over that right shoulder. As we're here and holding and twisting, elbow stays nice and high. Looking over that right shoulder. Taking those deep breaths. But as you're holding here, maybe see if you can get the hips even a little bit lower than you did before. Hold for a few more breaths. Good. Inhale, back to rise, arms up, and then arms by the side. Well done. All right, moving on to eagle pose. This is a great time to grab that sip of water if you'd like. As we continue to practice our eagle, goal is to remember getting low and using that momentum. And then same thing with the leg. The higher you can get it, the more you can wrap your one leg over the other. So it's like trying to just wrap yourselves nice and tight like rope. All right, starting with that right side. So we're gonna inhale, bring the right arm down and around. Goal is to see if you can get those hands at least to be together. And then we're gonna inhale, left leg up and wrap it around. And goal is to get all 5 toes as best as you can. I'm sitting nice and low, trying to get the elbows to stack on top of the knees. Remember, you're more than happy to just do your variation. It could be as easy as this, Any attempt to even trying the pose is giving you a chance to get some benefit out of it. We're focusing on that stillness, letting the knees stack on top of elbows or elbow stack on top of knees, fingertips together and in that one standing leg. As you're holding here and breathing, nice flat back. We're trying not to round here or hyperextend. Keep that back neutral. And slowly release on the legs, arms come up, straight onto the other side. As we exhale, left arm wraps around, down and around, staying nice and low, taking that right leg, bringing it up and over. Wrapping that all the way, if you can, fingertips together, chest is lifted that way. Now I'm going to move to the side, that way you guys can see kind of what I'm looking for when it comes to your back. So I've seen in class with other students, a lot of times people are here. Bring that chest up, kind of neutral spine, very similar to our chair pose in the sense that I want your back flat, chest up, arms on forward, stacked on top of knees. Again, focusing on something that isn't moving helps with that balance. Nice deep breaths as you're holding here. One more breath. Slowly release the leg, arms up, and arms by the side. Wonderful. Sending yourself towards the back of the mat. We're going to do our standing hand to toe that we first learned last time. So for this one, remember, it's all about getting that knee nice and high, wrapping down to interlace your hands, gonna cup and hold, and then we're gonna extend out. If you aren't able to do that, you're able to hold here or even hold with a chair. Sometimes holding it there, you can hold it for balance and then extend out. So variations, grab something if you need it to support you. If you'd like to do this freestanding, join me. So bring that right leg up, lock out the left leg. We're gonna reach down so we can wrap our hands underneath our feet. Woo. And then from here, we're gonna kick it out. So kick it out and holding it there. Trying to straighten out both legs as best as you can. As you're holding here and breathing, good, squeezing those quads. See if we can flex that front foot as you hold here and breathe. Good, for a few more breaths. Kind of hold that still, focusing on something that isn't moving and taking those deep breaths. Good, slowly release and bring the leg down. Very nice, awesome. So same thing, same way on the other side. Maybe one side is stronger than the other and you need support during that one, but if you can do it free on the other, that also is fine. Go ahead and bring that left leg up. We're gonna come down and gonna wrap. Sorry, there was something in my knee. Woo. All right, left, we're gonna go onto our second side. So go ahead and bring that leg up. We're gonna come down and interlace. And when ready, go ahead and kick out. The goal is kicking out as best as you can. As we're here and breathing, goal is locking out the leg as you squeeze, focusing on standing on that one leg. Deep breaths as you hold. We'll just keep holding there. If you lost your balance, that's okay. You can slowly bring yourself back in. Holding here for a few more breaths. Good, and then slowly release and bring it down. Very nice. Bringing yourself kind of towards the center of your mat. We're gonna move on to our standing bow. So for this one, like we did last time, it's where we grab a hold of the foot from the inside and we lean forward. So we're gonna start with that right foot to grab as we're using our standing leg being the left leg. So shifting the weight onto the left. Remember, we're not grabbing from the outside, we're grabbing from the inside. So palm to the inner part of your ankle. So do that first. If you're here using a chair or the wall to support, you can have that with your left hand. If you're doing it free standing, like myself, you're bringing that left arm up. Take a second, and as you exhale, you're kicking on your hand as you're reaching forward. So you're kicking up as you're reaching forward. We're kicking and reaching, gripping down with the feet, gazing forward as you kick and reach. Kick and reach. Kick and reach. Good. A few more breaths. Good, and then slowly bring yourself back. Very nice. Second side. So we're straightening out that right leg, bringing the left foot on the inside of the ankle, holding on to that balance support if you need it. Freestanding, go ahead and bring that right arm up, and as you exhale, the goal is to kick in the hand as you reach forward. So we're kicking and reaching on this left side and focusing on something in front helps with that balance. You continue to kick and reach. Kick and reach. Add a few more breaths. Keeping that focus. Good, and then slowly bring yourself down. Very nice. Moving yourself towards the back. This one is that warrior three, but our arms in that prayer position. So interlacing our fingers with the fingers pointed, thumbs crossed. So we're gonna start with the left leg leaning forward. So bring those arms up. Taking a breath, inhale, and as we exhale, step forward and reach. So pointing the back toes as you reach forward with the arms, gazing down, keeping that neck neutral and long, squeezing the glute as you reach and lift with the right leg, working through the arms as you reach the arms through, trying to get them to biceps to ears, creating a T with your body. As you're holding here, breathe. Good, keeping that focus. Nice deep breaths. Bracing with the abs. Inhale to slowly come up, step it back, arms by the side. All right, very good. Switching sides. Inhale to bring the arms up. Right leg comes forward as you exhale. We send the left leg back. So again, coming into that T, keeping those legs nice and straight as you're reaching forward, reaching back. Legs stay straight. As you're holding here and breathe, trying to keep the hips squared as best as you can. Coming down and breathing, squeezing with the glutes, reaching with the arms, gazing down. Neck stays neutral. Couple more breaths here. Keep holding and breathing. Good, and then inhale back, arms by the side. All right, moving into that wide straddle on the right side of your mat. So Come to that right side, feet about further than hip width apart, nice width apart. Starting with our hands at our waist, taking a breath. And as you exhale, push the hips back, leading with the heart as you slowly come down. Release the hands. Just coming into a wide straddle. I'm a fan of using something, that way I can have kind of more of that understanding of where I'm at, trying to get that the crown of the head to meet the mat. Either doing the same thing as I'm doing, or if it's free, that's totally fine for you. Vision is trying to get that the crown of the head to meet the mat. Toes pointed forward, using the arms to help pull the upper body down. As we take nice deep breaths here. And breathe. Allowing the mind to stay focused, squeezing of those quads, locking up the knees. A few more breaths here, allowing the muscles to elongate, to lengthen. What feels like tension slowly goes away. Flatten the back, arms at the waist, inhale to rise. Pointing the right toes back and coming back to the balls of the back heel, we're coming into crescent lunge. So right foot forward, left foot back, facing the back of your mat. So right knee bends while the left leg stays locked out straight. As you're here, we're thinking ball of that back foot, squeezing the glute as you reach up with the arms, nice and tall posture. Hips are squared, knees on that right knee on top of the ankle. As we're here and twisting, or here and nice and tall with that posture. Thinking ahead. And as you exhale, if you want to add that twist, we're going to come down with the left arm, reaching up nice and high with the right. And so here, again, if you need support, you can add that with a block or water bottle. Again, the goal is to keep the hips down. So you're reaching up nice and high with that right arm. Even a little back bend, reaching back if you like. To exhale, bring the arms down and come on up. And we'll switch sides, rotating that right foot perpendicular, ball of that back foot. Left leg is forward, bending of the knee, and bring the arms up. Crescent with now the left foot in front. Gazing forward, knee to ankle. Chest is lifted as you hold here. Squeezing that right quad, locks out the knee. As I bring my biceps to ears, chest up, gazing forward. Nice deep breaths. You can stay here if you want to add that variation, placing that right hand next to the left foot as we're twisting and reaching up, using some sort of support if you'd like. As we're here and holding, goal is to keep the hips down as low as we can. So we're trying not to stick them up, getting low. I'm gonna slight lean back if you want. Dropping the left hand to help you up. Turning the toes back for our straddle. One more time here. This time we're gonna interlace our hands behind us, adding that shoulder stretch. Taking a breath. And as you exhale, slowly bring yourself down. Thinking crown of the head, meeting towards the mat. And then once we get to that place, we're slowly gonna let our arms go away from the body, adding that shoulder stretch. As we're here and breathing, just going as far as it feels good for the body. Remember, you want to feel a little bit discomfort, but never to a place of pain. Again, nice deep breaths. Finding that distance that works for you. Good, and breathe. Slowly start to bring the arms back into the body, flatten back, and inhale to rise. Bringing your hands and feet together at the tops of your mats. Moving on into pyramid. We'll take our left leg and spring it back, having our right foot forward to start. Quarter of a turn with the back leg, front foot is facing forward. Legs are straight to start. We're gonna inhale, bring the arms up. And as we exhale, a little bend on that front knee to help guide your upper body down. Goal here is to get that forehead to meet the knee, kind of tucking that chin into the chest. And as you're here, the goal is now to straighten that leg while keeping contact with forehead to knee. Nice deep breaths. Keeping those eyes open to help with stability and balance. Breathe. Keeping those legs, at least the back one, straight, and then the front one working towards straightening it while keeping that connection to forehead to knee. As you breathe, a little rebend of that knee to help you bring yourself up, and then bring yourself to the tops of your mats. Left side, so taking that right leg, bringing it back just slightly, kind of in your triangle warrior one distance. Quarter of a turn with that back toes, hips squared. Inhale, we bring the arms up, and as we exhale, a little bend of that left leg to help you as you come on down. Arms are on both sides. Remember, you have the option of blocks if that is useful for you. Tucking the chin into chest, trying to get that forehead to meet the knee. As we're here, breathe. And as you continue to make the contact of forehead to knee as best as you can, trying to lock out, straighten that front leg. Deep breaths. Good, as you're here and lengthening the muscles in the backs of the legs. Slowly rebend, inhale, bring yourself up, and then bring yourself to the tops of your mats. Tree pose before we move on to our floor sequence. So starting with the left foot being the standing leg, placing that right foot anywhere, ankle, calf, thigh, top of the thigh, never on the knee. So finding that placement and finding that stillness, bringing your hands to heart center if you can. If you're placing your foot on top of the thigh, you can be here as well. And if you're able to press it down and hold it with both arms, you can hands together, you can do that also. A lot of variations with tree, but find the one that you want to commit to and hold it there. Couple breaths as we're holding here on that standing leg. Goal is to grip down with all 5 toes, gazing forward, shoulder blades are down and back, No tension in the shoulders. Your arms are where mine are at in that prayer position, and you want to bring them up high. You can do so. Goal is to reach up nice and tall, upper body, biceps to ears. So I'm holding here. I'm focusing on that standing leg. Good. Slowly bring the arms back in and help guide the foot down. All right. Moving on to our second side. So planting, stabilizing that right leg, placing the left in the same location as the right one on the right side. And then placing the hands into heart center to start. If you're there, just keeping it focused. Staring at something that isn't moving. Nice tall posture. Gripping down with all 5 toes. Now keeping that focus, and if ready, bringing the arms overhead and reach. Again, staring at something, focusing on the mind and the breath. As you're here, goal is to balance in that one standing leg. Good, and then slowly bring the arms down and releasing of the leg. Awesome. Okay, come down onto your mats and have a seat. We're laying on your back for our Savasana for a second here. So as you come into Savasana, goal here is just to relax the body. Give yourself a breath. Let it all go. Recenter the mind. Refocus on that breath. All right, we're going to bring up that right knee. We're going to interlace our fingers so we can pull that knee towards the right armpit area. So join me there. Go ahead and grab it and start pulling that knee towards the outer part of the chest. Remember, never on top of the rib cage. Goal is just to work through these hip flexors a little bit. Keep the neck neutral by tucking that chin into chest slightly. Nice deep breaths as you squeeze and hold. Squeeze and hold. Arms are the only thing working while the lower body stays relaxed. Good, and release. Taking it to the other side, grab a hold of the left leg. Take your breath, and as you exhale, squeeze that towards the left side of your armpit area. Remember, not onto the chest. So hold it there, elbows stay tucked in, chin into chest. Hold it and squeeze. More breaths, hold and squeeze. Good, and gently release. Bringing both knees into chest, and give yourself a hug, grab a hold of opposite elbows, and just squeeze here, trying to bring that head face into the knees. And hold. Taking those breaths. Squeezing, giving yourself a nice tight hug, creating a ball with a body. Good, and then gently release, straightening out the legs top. We're going to slowly bring the legs down, fighting gravity. So arms by the side for support. As you're breathing. Point those toes. Nice and slow. Fight, 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 fight. A little bit of ab work here. As you slowly bring it all the way All right. From here, we've got flutter kicks. So again, you can have your hands either out to the side or tuck them underneath and sit onto your hands. Up and down is one. We're going to do 15. And you want to bring the shoulder blades up, head and neck. Right, so up here, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Knees into chest. Relax the head and neck. All right, a little roll forward and back so you can have a seat, legs out in front, moving into our seated forward fold. Flex those feet. Inhale, bring the arms up. And as you exhale, reach forward as you drop the head and neck. Hang heavy. In your forward fold, we're thinking forehead to meet the knees as best as you can. Remember, reaching for the shins, ankles if you can't reach the toes. Pulling that upper body down as you take those breaths. Sinking a little deeper into that stretch. Nice deep breaths. Got a few more breaths here. And nice and gently, one vertebrae at a time, bring your body up. All right, we're gonna flip over onto our bellies. So have your head at the tops of your mats, feet at the bottom. Arms are gonna come close together. We're gonna come into cobra. So toes and feet together. You're gonna rest, arms are by your armpit area. Inhale to rise. So pressing with the palms. Arms aren't locked out, there's a little bend. Chest lifted, pulling the shoulder blades down and back. As you gaze forward here, letting the hips kind of push into the mat as you pull the shoulder blades down and back. Arms are the only thing that are working as you breathe. Gazing forward. Good. And as you exhale, slowly come down. Left ear to mat, resting the arms by the side. Lotus pose is next, so placing the arms out into a T, toes, feet together. We're gonna inhale and bring it on up. So it's like as if you're flying, reaching up with the arms, toes and feet together, flexing through the glutes as you're holding here. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping that right ear onto the mat, arms by the side as you rest. Good. All right, coming into bow pose, so bend the knees a lot. So you can grab a hold of your feet now from the outside. Kicking into your hands. Inhale and go. So now we're kicking, letting the arms extend behind us, squeezing through the glutes as you kick and let the legs come up. Breathe here. Kicking in your hands and holding here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently coming out of that. Left ear onto mat, arms by the side, and rest. All right, placing your hands underneath to help you sit up, bringing those feet forward. So this is the quad stretch that the goal is to keep the knees close. Roll out your feet out to the side so you can sit down if you can. And then the goal is to get your whole body back. I need a little bit of support, so I'm going to grab that block, place it so I can sit on it. And then if ready, the goal is to see if you can lean back down onto the elbows, and if you can, all the way back to where you're placing your arms overhead. In here. Nice deep breaths. As you're breathing and holding. The goal is to get as far back as you can. If this feels too much, you can always modify and just be more upright onto the elbows. Good, and then slowly bring yourself up. Good, and then if you have support, go ahead and release it. Coming up onto our knees, coming into camel. So with camel, more the center of our mats. This is another back bend. So this is where we're going to place our hands on that low back, shoot the hips forward, really squeeze those glutes as we lean back. So join me here, bringing your arms back. Take a breath and then slowly send your body back. So chest goes back, hips forward, drop the head and neck. And then when ready, reaching with the hands to ankles. Hips pressing forward as you look back. Hold it here. Good for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come out of that. And then we're gonna bring our hips back, reach forward, and come into child's pose. Take a second here. All right, walking it up so we can swing your legs forward, have a seat. Left leg's gonna extend out, right leg's gonna stay close for our hurdle stretch. Flexing of the foot, inhale, bring the arms up. And as you exhale, reaching for the toes, reaching of the shin or ankles if you can't reach. Tucking that chin so we can do forehead to knee as best as you can. Keeping those elbows down, trying to keep that leg straight, but if needed, you can always use towel or the block to help support you, or even placing it on the bottom of the knee that is bent. Good, one more breath. Inhale, slowly rise, shift that right knee back so we can come to a side plank. Right arm comes down, fingertips pointed away towards the back of the mat, and hips high. Reaching with the arm as you're here. A little back bend if it feels good. Squeezing of the glutes again. Pointing down with the left leg to keep you stable. And inhale, bring it back down. Switching sides, right leg out, left leg close. Inhale, bring the arms up, and as you exhale, reaching forward, dropping that forehead down. Thinking tucking of that chin. forehead to knee as best as we can as we're here and breathing. Nice deep breaths. Shifting that weight so we can drop that left knee on the mat. Right leg straight, come up, side plank as you hold. Left arm down as the right arm reaches, and pushing of the hips slightly forward as you reach back. Good, and gently bring yourself down. All right, spinal twist. So for this one, starting back with that left foot forward, we're going to take the right leg, cross it over the left. Left arm comes on top of the right knee, and then right arm behind you, twisting and looking over that right shoulder. And as we're twisting, breathing, looking behind you. So breathe. As we twist and breathe, we're getting a little deeper into that stretch. Good, and gently come out of that. Other side, right leg stays straight, left knee bends and crosses over. Right arm crosses over that left knee, left arm behind as you twist and look over the left shoulder. Nice and tall posture here. Good, nice deep breaths. Good, twisting and breathing, and slowly release. All right, come on down onto your backs again, bringing the knees into chest, a little rock side to side. Grabbing hold on the outside part of your knees for happy baby outside of your feet. Just a little rock side to side. Again, letting the knees fall outside of the chest. Here and breathe. Maybe a little bent, a little extension with those legs, whatever feels good for you. And wonderful. And go ahead and release the legs, let them fall and relax. Arms by the side as we come into our final Savasana. And as you lay here in your stillness, refocusing on that breath, maybe nice deeper inhalations, holding at the top, and a long exhale out, hold at the bottom. And as you continue to focus on each breath, allow that forehead to relax. No tension is there. Letting the shoulders just melt onto the mat. No tension in the jaw. It feels relaxed, letting the tongue touch the tips of the mouth. Hips are melting into the mats. Same with the knees, the ankles, and the toes. Fingertips are naturally curling in as they lay on the sides of your body. Continue to focus on each breath as you lay here in stillness. As we slowly start to awaken, start by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Roll to one side, creating a pillow with the arm underneath, stacking the knees together, taking a breath here. And then gently push yourself up into a seated position. Awesome job. Good job, everybody. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. Good work today, and we'll see you all in the next video.